Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go, man. Three guys before the game ready to come at you. We're back now. I mean, it's 2 days a week, whether you want it or not.
Yeah,
This is it. This starts 2 days a week from now until who knows when. Thanks for being with us.
Can we do the obligatory, where's the time go?
Hey, what a peasant.
Wait,
have we started? Because I'm still doing stuff. Are we on? Is this on the air? This is on the air?
You're working deadline.
You wanted to start 15 minutes ago.
Well, I got a lot of stuff. All right, sorry. Go ahead. This is live?
We're recording.
This is live?
Right.
Live.
Just for the record. Your Honor, just for the record, please enter this podcast as episode number 565. Title, 2024 Over-Unders, Part 1. So many, we got to do 2 shows.
I think you like them.
Love your over-under.
Creative?
One may not be an over-under, might be more of a yes-no. I've put it in that form to make it a little bit easier. So one of them's a yes-no.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
And we have not been given advance.
You have no idea what the category is, nor certainly any of the numbers behind it. No.
Exactly.
This will all be new to you and Tony.
Which is so stunning considering the great deal of pre-talk that we do before the show.
I thought it would have come out in our meeting.
Yeah.
Prior.
Well, there's a lot of pre-talk. It's just never about the show.
True.
A lot of things are going on. We're going to get into them. May I remind you that in order to do this show, I'm not even going down that road. The show is being sponsored by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. Tell you what, there was a thing on 60 Minutes last night about data breaches. Oh. Holy hell. I didn't even realize all the stuff that Las Vegas has been into, those casinos. They're getting absolutely just destroyed.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Anyway, Comax does not handle any of the data inside Las Vegas, but they pretty much got all West Virginia under control. We'll talk about that coming up. 3 guys brought to us by Gomart. Go for good times. Go for Gomart. Get yourself one of them Gomart Rewards cards and instantly begin racking up points on food and fuel.
I had to stop there.
Excuse me?
I had to stop there this weekend.
Heard that. Saw that.
Summersville.
Why not?
One of the more famous Go-Marts.
Absolutely.
Iconic.
It is iconic.
Go to gomart.com for details.
More on that later.
3 guys also brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. All they do is sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. Something had escaped me about them. I'll tell you about that later in the show. 3 guys brought to us by Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way at Tudor's Biscuit World. And, ladies and gentlemen, just another sign that the season is quickly approaching. 3 guys is brought to us by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond the numbers. They take a hiatus when the season is over because Brad does his spreads on stats before games and analyzes. And now that over-under season is here, Conley CPA Group, wonderful to have that gang back on. Fantastic, folks. We've dined with them.
We have. Hope we can do that again.
Sure. That'd be nice. Good way to plant that seed.
Some good food, good cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They brought the food, didn't they, that
they
time?
Did. They supplied
They brought it here.
They supplied the provisions that day. It was
my kind of people. All right. Conley CPA is back into the fold. All right, let's jump in. So let's put this into significance of practice. So this week, the world champions basically just go practice throughout the course of the week. Next week, officially, camp comes to an end. They call it an end. That's the same day that classes start. Classes don't start until a week from Wednesday, which would be the 21st. And then you've got that week, and then you've got another week, and then game week. So it's like getting closer, starting to sniff it a little bit. Mountaineers had a major scrimmage this past Saturday. They literally locked the gates. Like, this wasn't just,
secret.
Hey, they're going to lock the gates. Like, they literally, locked the gates.
Double secret probation.
Yeah. I mean, it was a challenge. It was a challenge. If you weren't there in time, I got a call. I said, dude, 7:30, gates are locked. crushed another piece of pizza, caused indigestion, ran down, got there. I got in. Barely. They lock her down. Lights, by the way, look perfect.
Do they?
Whole new world.
Were you there when they gave out the nuclear codes? Or did that happen later?
Codes for
or before?
What? Well, codes
Well,
for
they're locking things down. I assume they have things in there like the nuclear codes, really important things.
Yeah. I mean, this wishbone offense that they're going to debut, this wishbone offense they're going to debut against
Going
Penn
to be pretty
State.
amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
What a wishbone. I mean, who would have thought of that? I mean,
Mhm.
just amazing. Anyway, so they scrimmaged, what, about 2 hours, 40 minutes, 2 hours, 45 minutes? They'll do it again this coming Saturday. They'll go Saturday afternoon this coming week. And it's coming together. So, a lot of work.
Can you report on what you saw, or because it was?
No.
Okay.
It confirms. Here's the no-brainer. The offense has a lot of playmakers. The offense should be able to score points with consistency and frequency.
Good thing he was there for that intel. Thank God we had somebody inside the stadium to let us know there's offensive playmakers. Only breaking on this show. Go ahead, continue. That was good.
Okay, listen.
What else? And
I'm
Garrett
good
Green
intel.
will be the quarterback? Oh. Whew.
Yeah. Looks like 6 has got a chance to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably number 1 plays a little bit too.
Yeah.
Number 4 probably gets some carries. And then the other part of it is what we also already know is that, I mean, the keys this week and the next couple of weeks really is finding your number 2s and your number 3s, because we kind of, the starters for the most part, like the new guys that come into the defensive backfield, what you're trying to do is confirm what you thought. Okay, you're good enough to start. And then it's like, okay, now your 2s and your 3s, your newcomers or your guys that are in that freshman, sophomore to junior rise, like, have you risen to the point that we can trust you on the field? So that's kind of where we are. But, as far as like specifics and things like that, it's not fair. I don't do that. I'm not going to say. This is not fair to no one involved. It's not fair.
I bet the offense was versatile, too, on Saturday. I bet they were able to run many different things.
Well, I would say this. They ran it and they threw it.
Oh. So they will throw it.
Did both of them. Yeah, they ran it.
And they will run it.
Did both.
Okay.
So I think you put that down too.
Very good.
What
a waste.
By the way, the new lights, seriously, I bring it up again. You forget how bad the other ones were. You forget how bad the other ones were. Like we became programmed to think that when it's a night game, it's like you're watching it through a Heinz mustard bottle. Seriously, like, wait a second, it's not yellow anymore. Is there a problem here? What is this? What's this white light you speak of?
Did they do colors?
They didn't change it. No, they didn't fart around. But this was for real, man. It's just like, we're just going white light. We're not playing any games, just white light. That's what we're doing.
And it was a big difference?
Huge.
Really?
I mean, it's night and day.
Literally.
It is almost night and day. Guy that I was with looked at it was looking at through the binoculars. And I said, okay, because they're the same binoculars that I use. And I said, hey, what does it look like with those? And he said, it literally looks like daytime.
Wow.
Which is what you're supposed to be, right?
And it's instant, right? They turn it off and turn it on.
They can. Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can flick them on and off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's that. That's this week. Getting ready. Just keep knocking on your wood or whatever you knock on, that they continue to stay healthy, because, you just look through, every day you read other college football teams, Texas has already lost one. Texas A&M just lost one.
Yeah, so that's the key, because this next 2 weeks, before you get into game weeks, this is wild, Hop. We do this every year. You get so excited when practice begins, right? And there's a million storylines. And then we kind of settle into this over the next 2 weeks. It's kind of the offense has playmakers. The defense is trying to find guys, right? That becomes a storyline for like 2 weeks until we can get to game week and start going. So this kind of starts that little malaise of information. But you're right, Tony. That's the biggest news. Just get out of these next 2 weeks healthy, get into game week, and here we go.
Yep, exactly.
So what do you say? You want to jump right in?
Yeah, I think we do it, because we also have a lot of text to get into, don't we? We haven't done text since 2017.
So yeah, some people have started to complain. So I looked back. The last time we had done them was July 11. So it's been a month.
Well,
since we did them.
Haven't done them in so long. They came in as faxes last time.
And I'll talk about what they are and what we got into during the course of them. But not all text will be used, because some of them just date themselves. But I mean, there's there's enough there to eat, man. There's a lot there.
So I checked the numbers. We'll just go right to the numbers.
All right, here's an oldie but a goldie.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the analytics portion. It's back, man. Give it up. We should have like a Barry White voice. Like spreads on stats. That'd be nice. Three guys before the game and spreads on stats brought to us by the Conley CPA Group. They provide value beyond the numbers. They're a complete public accounting firm and consulting firm serving clients throughout West Virginia and surrounding states, getting ready for their 40th anniversary. That's next year. So they've stood the test of time. Local firm, experienced and local professionals. They do a lot of stuff. So whether it's outsourcing your entire accounting operation or to supplement your in-house accounting, they can do all of that. Contact the Conley CPA Group. Good American people. All right, what do you got to start it off?
All right, here we go. Glasses on.
Ooh, in mid-season.
We're going to actually begin with just a number, an update.
Huh?
Zach Frazier made his NFL debut.
I watched him.
Look good. You know what he looked like?
An NFL center.
Zach Frazier. PFF College had some numbers out for Zach following his Week 1 game. He had 19 pass block snaps, 0 pressures allowed, and a 72.2 run block grade. All very, very good numbers, obviously. So Zach coming right out of the gate with the black and gold, just as he did with the gold and blue.
His very first snap, he cut through, he split through a double team and got to the second level. First ever.
Looked just like Zach Frazier.
Yeah.
And
just a little different hue in the jersey.
Yeah, it helped him out that the fella who started in front of him had 2 botched snaps that were.
Does Frazier? You think Frazier ends up starting?
Well, Mike Tomlin makes it a rule where like rookies don't start, but it's a what do you call that? What do they say? What's that Latin term? Fait accompli? Is that what it is?
Fait accompli, yeah.
A fait accompli? Yeah, he'll start.
Tomlin did say Zach will have an increased workload here in Week 2.
Did Beanie play?
Yeah, Beanie was out there. We're number 30. Right. Beanie was out there. Yeah, that's the thing about the pros that's a little bit different from college. Like they're not him-hawing around. Like college, you got to work like the guy's going to go in the transfer portal. Pros will go like obviously Brad Howe did a very bad job snapping today. His playing time will be diminished. Hoppy Kercheval will get an increased playing time because he has practiced better. Like you can say that in the pros.
Yeah.
Especially Tomlin. He's not messing around. So anyway, good job for Zach Frazier. So we begin with that. All right, you ready? You want to dive right into the over-under segment of the program?
Yes.
Yeah.
These are fun.
Wait a second. Did we ever go back and recap?
I don't know. I think somebody did.
I hope not.
It's more fun here.
I think I was really good last year.
A shock.
Yeah,
you would
you
say
think
that.
you
Who
were?
knows if you were.
Do you remember? Was I? I think I won.
I don't. Now you're just saying stuff. Now you're just over here just saying stuff.
I don't think I missed any. I was going to keep adding on to it. Fact, as a matter of fact.
I don't even remember doing it.
Yeah, we did them.
Right. This will be the same.
Okay, let's go.
All right, let's have some fun.
Let's go.
All right, so this one I tried to do. So we're doing 3 of them. I did 2 offense, 1 defense. We'll do some more in the next episode as well. I tried to get a couple big picture items, like themes of the team, Hoppy, that we'll talk about, niche them down into specifics, and then we'll go if we think over or under is happening. So let's begin here. In 2023, West Virginia had the 3rd most rushing attempts in the last 15 seasons. They had 565 total rushes last year. That was the most since the Mountaineers ran the ball 574 times in 2016. The 565 rush attempts were the most among Power 5 teams in 2023.
Wow.
So, Hoppy, here's your first over-under.
Okay.
West Virginia will have over or under 525 rushing attempts in 2024.
I see what you did there, man.
So the number is 525 over or under. Last year led Power 5 at 565. Some context, Hoppy.
Yes.
Neal's teams have averaged 430.8 carries per season over 5 seasons. This season, the top 3 rushers from last year all return. Those 3 combined to carry the ball 400 times.
Right.
Right? And we know the 3, White, Donaldson, Green. 525 carries this year would be the 6th most number of carries over the last 15 seasons. 525 carries averages out to 40.4 per game, assuming West Virginia plays in a bowl game. Over under 525 rushing attempts this season for the Mountaineers.
Brad, that's a really, really good number. And
so go ahead and talk it out here before you give an over-under. Talk out what your thought process is here.
The last year was somewhat, I think, inflated because Garrett Green ran the ball 120 times. Okay, and is he going to run the ball 120 times this year, or can you rely more on Jaheim White? Jaheim White ran the ball 109 times last year, but he'll run more this year, right? Because he's going to be the starter. Boy, oh boy. I'm going to say
your passing game you feel like is better.
Yeah.
So does that bring the rushes down, which the number is down from last year? It's down 40 attempts from last year. So roughly, 3 a game if you play 13 games?
What you basically did was it was definitely going to be under if you would have stayed at the 565. But you threw that 525 in there. And basically, the question you're asking is, will West Virginia throw the ball 3 more times per game than it did last season?
Assuming good reframe there, but assuming you get the same number of total plays.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to think the offense will have the same number of plays. I think we all agree offense should be very good again, and that's not an unreasonable ask.
I'm going to go over because you have C.J. Donaldson, you have Jaheim White, 2 outstanding running backs, assuming they stay. And we're still assuming they stay healthy. You don't know, and you have Green, who's going to run. Again, maybe you hope he doesn't run 120 times, but Green's going to run. So you have 3 people. You have 3 legitimate runners in the backfield. And because you have 3 instead of 2, I'm going over.
Interesting thought process. I think it also boils down to you looked at it from guys that can carry it. I think another thing you have to look at it from is the perspective of what does this coaching staff think of its defense? I.e., do they need to keep the ball away from the other team's offense?
Fair point.
More so. So you don't know because that'll be determined once they start playing games. But if they feel, hey, we can't keep our defense out there, or if they don't feel that that is a complete strength unit, then they're going to go like, let's milk this clock a little bit more, run it a little bit more, less time on the clock for the other team to score. So I think that is in there. I'd definitely be absolutely under if you would have kept the number at 565. I would not be stunned if it's a play right in between the 525 and the 565 when it all is done. So I'm going to go under. Also thinking under the 565.
Well, that's not the number.
Okay.
525.
Yeah, you're right.
No wonder he thinks he did so well last year. Just made up his own numbers.
Hang on.
Tried to give you an over the 560. I didn't ask you about 565.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'll go over your 525.
Going over as well.
I'm going to say this for the record. I'm going to say I'll go over the 525, but I don't think it gets to 565. I guess that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. So
that's
both over.
Both over on that.
Yes.
One of the other things, and you guys bring up 2 excellent points in part of the discussion here and the thought process. The other one just is, does West Virginia have the ability again this year to do what it wants to do when it wants to do it? Mm-hmm. It did last year. It's part of why it ran it so much. It all of those things you said had 3 great runners, so you're going to try and run it. Wanted to make sure you protected the defense late when those injuries came. Wanted to run it. And then, oh, by the way, you could run it. You could line up and tell them you were running it against most of these teams and had success doing so. We know the questions around the offensive line, right? We just talked about Zach Frazier. That's a massive hit, guys. That's a massive hit. Brandon Yates was very good last year. Jaquay was very good last year. Nick was very good last year. But you're asking each of them to do more, including Yates to move over into a new position. Those are some asks right there, Hop. Mm-hmm. You certainly feel better about your offensive line than where you did 5 years ago. Sure. There's no question.
Oh, yeah.
But do you feel as good about it as you did last year when you had a pro on the left side, a pro on the middle, and then Doug Nestor, who's in a pro camp on the right side? That's 3 pros spaced out pretty well. So can West Virginia run it as much as it wants to this year? And then the other part is we've talked about this. I think the passing game takes a step forward, both in terms of weapons, Garrett Green's command of the offense, Garrett's ability to hit open receivers rather than just first instinct of tucking it and go. So do Garrett's carries come back a little bit, both in terms of his maturation in this offense and the ability to keep him healthy longer? Do you want to run him less? I'm sure the answer is yes to that. Now, the game will dictate whether he runs less or not. You might have to just take off and do it. Jaheim White will get more carries. I think this is a fascinating and really difficult question to answer. I will say this. I think you guys probably end up winning this category. I'm going to say under.
Okay.
I'm going to say under.
You think Air Brown's going to come to life?
I think you throw it a little bit more. But part of this, I have the disadvantage of doing all of these questions. And I found myself, when I was going over them again this morning, doing what they always tell you not to do in over-unders. I'm out here just over, like over, hitting county, I'm over, offensive county, over. Like I'm over on everything. So I'm going to actually fight myself here and go under.
You're fading yourself.
I'm going to fade myself. I'm going to go under the number of carries. Plus, I want to be something different than you two.
Yeah.
But I won't be surprised if you guys are right in that. I thought my number was a reasonable number.
Your number and the arguments are perfect because you can go over under on this argument. You just went under with a legitimate argument, so it's a good number.
I think the 525 is an absolutely gorgeous number.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Like Mona Lisa, pretty number.
But what'll be fun to watch is if this line matures and those backups can come in and spell those frontline guys, and you're really cooking on the offensive line. You know those three guys are going to be very successful running the ball. So that will be fun to watch as we move throughout the season. Does West Virginia come out and get 43 carries against a Penn State? Can they just start grinding people like they did last year? So there's our first one.
Good.
All right, you like that one?
Yeah, that's a really good number. Can we crowdsource something, perhaps? One of our listeners out there would, because we won't. Would someone make it your life's work to follow these as the season goes on and then update us on the text line? Because
someone did it last year for us. There's
some really
texted
good
us last
listeners
year
out there. All right, number 2.
Okay, I'm going to stay in that category of rushing the football again.
Okay.
Because I'm just intrigued by this, just talent-wise and everything we just said in the first category. So let's stay with this. This is not an over-under. We could make it one, but I'm not going to.
So what is this?
This is going to be a yes-no. This is just a yes-no.
Does this count? Is this like a friendly? Like, what is this?
No, it's just a yes-no. You just don't have to give an over-under. You're just giving a yes or a no. Let's talk 1,000-yard rushers on the season. We do this one a lot. West Virginia's had a 1,000-yard rusher in 5 of the last 9 seasons, but has not had one since Letty Brown in 21. Simple yes, no. The Mountaineers will have a 1,000-yard rusher in 2024.
Yes.
You don't even need numbers.
Nope. I see those practices.
Last year, you had 3 players last year with 773 yards or more. That was really good. Jaheim White's the one that's interesting, Hop. 842 yards on 109 attempts. He only had one double-digit carry game in the first 7.
Right. Right.
His numbers are ridiculous. 78% of his yards came in the final 6 games. 70% of his yards came in the final 4 games. If he kept the same yards per attempt average from last year, he only needs 21 more carries to get to the 1,000 yards. Now, that'll be hard to do. He averaged 7.7 yards a carry. Jaheim White's numbers were stupid good last year.
I looked at those numbers too, Brad, that if he averages this season what he did the last 5 games of last season, he'll average 120 yards a game. Now, will we do that? I don't know, but 1,000 yards, yes.
Well, you took care of that. What about you? Are you serious? You're still in pondering mode. Not sure.
I think somebody does.
So that's a yes?
That's a yes. I'll go yes.
For the guy that you could never make him say anything, very, very good. You'd be great at depositions.
I mean,
I think it's yes.
So 3 yeses.
And I think Jaheim's my pick there because I think you use CJ differently.
Right.
Kind of like you did last year. So he's going to have to get way more carries. Garrett absolutely has a skill set to do so, but I just don't think you're going to want to run him enough to get him to 1,000. And I think the other question that goes with 1 and 2 is what do defenses try and take away here? Mm-hmm. Right? They're going to load on the run. That's part of why I think that number 1 has a chance to be under. It's just whether or not, okay, fine, you can load up all you want. Can you stop it? But what do other teams do? How do they focus differently on Jaheim White that's now a known quantity that was not last year?
Right.
part of that was a little bit of a surprise factor. He comes in, he hadn't shown much on tape those first few games. You're like, who's this guy? What's going on here?
Yeah,
then
now
you
they
can't
know.
see him. Then you can't find him. Then you can't tackle him when you do see him.
Well,
Probably that's not a stretch for here Donaldson to get another 250 yards or another 200 yards and pop over that number. Would you go as far as saying someone will catch Wendell Smallwood's 15-19 rushing yards? 15-19?
No.
Too big of a number because of the multiplicity of young student athletes that may rush the pigskin.
Do you want to get to Justin Crawford's 1184? 1,200 yards rushing in play for somebody?
It's in play. It's in play.
We're in that neighborhood.
It's in play.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in that neighborhood.
I mean, Brad, you looked at the numbers. White had 842 on 109 carries, 7.7.
7.7.
That's pretty impressive. Donaldson had 798 yards, but on 171 carries.
4.7 yards per carry.
Yeah.
With a bad shoulder.
I mean, think about that. A bad shoulder, splitting time, still got almost 5 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Now, again, a lot of those numbers, that's offensive line related too. We always assign them just to the running back. And in Donaldson's case, you're running through people. In White's case, you're not only running around him, you're also running through. He was very good after contact as well, but that's also an offensive line number. So some of that's what's this line give you again. Okay, so that was unanimous.
3 yeses.
I don't like it when it's unanimous.
Yeah.
Three guys before the game is brought to us by Go-Mart. Go for good times. Go for Go-Mart. We just don't come onto this podcast and say, hey, go to Go-Mart. I mean, our people are at Go-Mart. Austin. Woo-wee.
Now look at all Hoppy there at a Go-Mart.
Oh, this weekend, Hoppy stopped at the Summersville Go-Mart. Look at that. It looks like behind him, the loyalty off points card.
Yes.
They're promoting that
Yes.
right there. Here's why.
Right over your shoulder. Very good with that hop.
Thank
Very
you.
well
It was a
done.
it was a beautiful day. Had good lighting.
And you were traveling by yourself and were still able to pull that off.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing you still go out by yourself. Lucky he went instead of Summersville that it didn't end up in like.
That's a good, easy stop there off 19
yeah.
in Summersville,
Yes,
right? You can get
yes.
in, get
Got
out
a
easily.
light.
There's a stoplight right there. Get you in, get you out.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a reminder. Right now, Go-Mart has the Mountaineer Man Trip. They're collecting the contestants. This is a good deal. It's your chance to experience a game day like never before. Exclusive pregame tradition starts 2 hours and 20 minutes before kickoff. Gives you a front row seat to Mountaineer spirit. Go-Mart gives you the chance to win your spot to walk in with the team on the Mountaineer Man Trip. You'll not only take the field with the world champion Mountaineers, but you'll also receive exclusive game day tickets, limited edition Go-Mart and WVU apparel. If you're ready to enter, download the Go-Mart app or head to the gomart.com website. Sign up for the Mountaineer Man Trip. Entries must be in before August 23. So it's only 11 days left before we have the winners. So sign up for the Mountaineer fan experience that you won't forget. Go-Mart and the Mountaineers, the ultimate Mountaineer game day experience. Check it out.
That would be pretty fun getting off that bus. That's one of the great moves, right?
Yeah,
Walking in with the
yes,
team, everybody
yeah.
on both sides. That's a good promotion right there. I like that.
Yeah, it is.
You get tickets with that too, right?
You get
Did you say?
Sure, you get
Yeah.
tickets. Yeah, and a little pregame stuff. And you can walk in. You probably could wedge your way right up there, like right next to Neil.
Well, I think you're right up there.
Just a side by side.
Yeah,
And
there's
like
no
walk
question.
walk in like you own the stadium.
No question.
Like pull a Vince McMahon, just strutting right into the stadium. You could do that.
Probably should stop at Daniel's first and make sure you're dressed right.
There's no question about that.
Well, that's a good point too.
Hey, by the way, fine looking Phil
Yeah.
today
Yeah.
is down at the. He's at the motherland of this gear that we're wearing right here. We'll talk more about it later. But see, like, where's my logo?
It's right there. It's just white, so it's fun.
Okay,
Because I think your actual shirt is up for sale right now on episode800.com.
He's at Peter Millar headquarters today,
Really? Where's that?
Raleigh, North
I
Carolina.
think they have those big bolts of fabric out there. You're just picking up.
Phil's just walking in, going, "I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take this. We'll do those. We'll do those." That's what he
Is that
does.
how that works?
Yeah, literally. He was in Chicago last week, just kind of picking. Talked to his wife yesterday about it. He's picking spring 25 right now. Talked to his wife about cream-colored pants and very bright colors coming in spring 25.
I like that. Good.
They're getting ready.
Yeah, fall stuff's already arriving. You should go check out the fall stuff.
Yeah,
There's some nice hoodies already on the rack.
Yeah.
Sharp.
Three guys also brought to us by Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way. Talked about this on the last episode. Won the world championship of biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive. Named the best biscuit in the South 2024. Lined up Take a look at that thing. Their Mountaineer biscuit won the thing.
Is that the actual biscuit?
Yes.
Well, there's a couple of them up there.
They're two stacked on top
They're
of
stacking
it.
some stuff.
But right now, Garden and Gun Magazine hosted the annual March Madness biscuit bracket. 32 different brands of biscuits went after it. Intense. Tudor's Mountaineer won it. Biscuit packed with country ham, egg, cheese, and a crispy hash brown. Named the South's best biscuit. Celebrate a West Virginia original on the way to a game. Treat yourself to a delicious breakfast handled with
There it is,
Tudor's
Hop.
Mountaineer.
Gold medal.
Start your day the homemade way. It's the Mountaineer. I laughed because it says, I could just envision this. Celebrate on your way to the game. Treat yourself to a delicious breakfast. When I was in college, a fast food place was selling 25-cent cheeseburgers.
Oh, my. And you.
Mm-hmm.
And my guy that I was with, student, a friend of mine, he pulled in the drive-through there.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "You still have those cheeseburgers at 25 cents each?" And lady said, "Well, yes, we do." He said, "Can I have 4 dozen of those?"
4 dozen.
To this day, I have no idea what he thought he was going to do with 4 dozen cheeseburgers, but he got them, I think, just to make himself laugh that he ordered 4 dozen cheeseburgers
at one time.
At a quarter a pop.
Sure, understood.
Back then, So anyway, you can go to Tudor's and walk in there and say, "Hey, you guys won that thing, the world championship with that Mountaineer biscuit? Give me 10 dozen of those bad boys."
Well, I don't know about maybe 10 dozen at a time. Might want to call ahead if you're going to do that. I did get a text from somebody.
Those folks at Tudor's, they'll be ready.
After the last episode, I got a note from somebody that said the discussion of it on Three Guys led them to, they went right over there.
Last show they went on.
Took down a biscuit, but their kids like the big cinnamon rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's called Tudor's Biscuit World, so you can't go wrong with the
They got a
Tudor.
lot of stuff
You
in
can't
there.
go wrong with the biscuit, but they do have cinnamon rolls. Very good.
Yeah, got a
Listener.
lot of stuff
Thank
in
you.
there.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
Last one for today. Hoppy, I've got more in
You're coming back Thursday with more of these?
I've got more in the hopper.
Good.
Okay.
Let's talk defense for a second. The question is this. The individual sack leader for West Virginia in 2024 will have at least 5.5 sacks. Over or under? Individual that leads the team in sacks.
All right.
5.5 sacks will lead the team. Over or under? All right, here we go.
This is not our first trip to the rodeo. Put it into context for us.
In Neal's 5 seasons, West Virginia's leader went over this total just 2 times, both Dante Stills. Last year, the leader was 4, Jared Bartlett, but 4 others had 3. Now, of the top 5 sack leaders from last year, only 1 returns. The average over the last 5 seasons has been 5.6.
Oh.
Our number, 5.5, over or under. Note of clarification. We're using West Virginia's internal stats for the official record here.
What does that mean?
Well, there's a difference between WVU stats and Pro Football Focus's stats when it comes to sacks and also hurries. So, WVU's internal stat. I don't know which one of them is right, but we're going with WVU's internal stats for the official record. Okay? A couple notes here. Sean Martin had 4 in 2021. Obviously still on the team this year. Now I'm gonna jump back and forth between West Virginia's numbers and PFF numbers. So you got to kind of listen to both. But Hop Martin had 21 quarterback hurries per Pro Football Focus last season. Not sacks, but getting close to the quarterback there, Hop. Eddie V, 3 sacks. So he's around. Tyron Bradley, 2.5 sacks. A guy that looks impressive physically, has had some flash plays.
Very mean. I would talk to a coach.
Excuse me?
I was over there today. And a lot of NFLs. Here's a sign that our talent level, the teams, there have not been this many NFL scouts at practice in recent memory.
And it's daily. It's daily.
Single day.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day there's NFL scouts. I asked a guy who had an affiliation with the league in the past over at practice today. I said, putting 2 and 2 together here, I said, I've not seen, is this because, he goes, yeah. You got
more dudes.
You've got 5 draftable guys that they're sniffing on right now, which would be really good.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point,
which is all great information and nice, but why'd you just attack Tyron Bradley for being mean?
because I was watching practice and a coach came to me and they were running a little half line and he said, like, that dude, he said, he is mean.
Meant it in a complimentary way
In a
on the
nice
field,
way.
of course.
I'm
Yes.
sure he's a nice young man.
Yes.
But like on the field, he's one of those dudes. You need those guys. You need you need about 4 guys on defense. One eye goes this way and the other eye goes that way.
Right, just can't wait to
off
hit
to
you.
the side. Yeah. And
He
you need
physically
those
looks
guys.
good too. Man.
He
looks the
mean.
part.
He looks mean. He plays mean. I like it.
So he had 2.5. Can he get all the way to 6? That's a fairly big jump, but okay. Here's one for you. Aubrey Burks last year had 2 sacks. PFF had him down for only 4 pass rush attempts. That's been a Brown Mention Index offseason storyline about getting Aubrey Burks in the blitz game, in the pass rush game. He's a talented pass rush. You've heard that a bunch, Hoppy. Getting him with some more opportunities, a guy that can get to the passer. Ben Cutter had 2 sacks last year. Trey Lathan, we've talked about a bunch, had 12 quarterback pressures in just the 5 games that he played. He was an elite pass rusher. Didn't get home on sacks, but was elite at getting to the pressure. So you've got some guys around it. Can you get to, so the leader will have to have 6. The number is 5.5 for the team leader. Over or under?
My fear and concern is what you just did. You listed a handful of guys that are all going to be in the neighborhood. You just don't have like one guy. You just don't have like, hey, it's this guy. Is this guy going to get? And here's how that number normally is reached. Normally what happens is the guy that leads you in sacks has a Saturday afternoon where he gets a handful of them at the same time. Like to get to 5.5, normally what happens is Albany comes in and you get 3. And then you pick your way through the rest of the season and you add them on, by the time it's all, oh my God, so-and-so had 7.5 or so-and-so had 8. Yeah, I had 3 against Albany. With all due respect to Albany.
All due respect.
So it is another super good number at 5.5 based on your history. Like I would also, you know what? I would be more apt to say there are more than 3 guys that will have 4 than I am to say one guy is going to have over 5.5.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
I'd be more comfortable doing that one.
See, this is what we try and do on these, Hop. You want some thought. It's hard. What's your number? What do you do? What can you get to?
Tony, so have you reached a
decision? I'm leaning under. But I think there'll be more guys that have over 4. I think there could be some guys. You could have a bunch of guys that have 5 but don't get to 6. And you say the average under Coach Neal is what?
What'd I say? 5.6. It's right there.
See, because right now.
But remember, 5 doesn't get you home.
I know.
5.5 doesn't get you home.
I know. So right now in practice, it's too early to tell if Ty French is going to be the speeding bullet because they're not at that point yet where they're letting the dogs run.
Jackson, what's Jackson give you?
Right now they're just taking the dogs for the walk, getting them ready.
This to me really intrigues me because you're going to have, so one of those NFL guys that they're on is Sean Martin. And I mentioned he got to 4 a couple years ago. Back healthy, looks good. Is he ready to go? Is he ready to line up and say, you know what? There's no more potential for Sean Martin. It's go time for him, right? If he wants to be an NFL guy. Does he just turn into a wrecking ball? Does he have 4 in the first 2 weeks? Does he get out of the... Now, if he does, now that's on tape, Hop, so now there's going to be adjustment, but then does somebody else come in? Is there a Trey Lathan? Didn't mention Trotter. Can he get home? Ty French. I mean, there are guys that you think are going to have the ability to get to the quarterback.
See how
can they get to 6?
He's building this. See what he's doing. You see what he's doing?
Yes, I know exactly what he's doing.
He's doing basically the song version of Paradise by the Dashboard Light. He just keeps building it, and he's wanting us to say, yes!
So Dante Stills was in the mix 3 times. He led or tied the team for the sack lead. 2019, he tied with his brother Darius. So 3 times it was Dante. Where's Dante play now, Hop?
He plays for the National Football
NFL.
League.
So you need probably have an NFL guy. David Long is on this list. Where's David Long right now?
Yeah, I think he's in the
NFL.
show.
Akeem Mesidor was one. Came out of a non-traditional sack position while he was here. He led you one year. He had a really good year at Miami. He's probably an NFL guy. So who are your NFL guys? You got some NFL guys in here that can pop? Sean Martin could absolutely get 6. Would you be surprised if Sean Martin finished with 6?
No.
Not even a little
I'd
bit,
be really
right?
happy.
Not even a little bit.
No, okay. Tony.
Trey Lathan comes back in.
He's back. But look, Tony's, I'm under because 6 is a lot for one guy when you don't have a guy that this guy's the quarterback, this guy's the pass rusher, this guy gets to the quarterback, it from last year, he had 7 last year, whatever. So somebody would have to do better rush-wise than they've done historically, number one. Number two, like you said, Brad, there's a lot of guys who get to the quarterback, and you can get to the quarterback and get a half, but not a whole. So you can get to the quarterback, 8 times, but maybe you're sharing that with somebody else. I just think without having an NFL, without having an established NFL quality pass rusher that you know of, you got some possibilities, but you don't know of, I go under on the 5.5.
You've persuaded me to do the same. Because, like he says, Vegas makes its living off of people going over on over-unders. I'm going to go under. I think can I add a codicil to the Faber College Constitution?
Little-known codicil.
I think that there will be, I'll go on mine. I think that there will be 4 guys that have more than 4.
Ooh, more than 4?
That's a lot.
You mean 5 plus?
4.
Or 4 at least. You
4,
said more than 4.
Yeah, at least 4.
Wow.
I could see Aubrey Burks. I could see Ty French. I could see Sean. I could see others, Bradley, all in that category, right? Sniffing around 4-ish. But I can't go over 5. I can't get to 6. I'm going under. What you got,
Brad?
I am shocked that we have 2 unders here. I thought I was going to be the sole under. I am totally bummed out now. You 2 clowns rolled in here with unders. You should have been over there giddy.
You trained us,
sorry,
Brad.
yeah.
We're not like the kid running around first time at the popsicle stand. You trained us through the years.
We'll make the argument for over then. Go ahead.
But just let's go through this. So I think here's another factor that wasn't brought up right there. Just who are you playing against? Because it's also teams are pretty sophisticated in the passing game now. Getting a sack's a challenge. Penn State, that's going to be hard to get a bunch of sacks against Penn State.
Aller.
Pitt, who knows what Pitt has. Kansas, getting to Jalen Daniels is going to be a challenge. Oklahoma State, they're going to run the ball a ton, plus they get it out quick. Remember with Bowman, how fast he gets it out? Those are going to be hard. You get an experienced quarterback in Rocco Becht.
Yep.
It's going to be hard to get to him. He's mobile. Kansas State, Avery Johnson, that's a team that's going to want to run it a bunch. Tough to get to. How about Arizona? Also a quarterback that can get on the run and somebody that's going to get it out quickly. UCF, you're probably not going to get a ton of sacks on 200 and whatever he is, 65-pound KJ Jefferson in a team that wants to run it. So I think some of this is a product of schedule in this league. It's gone away from we throw it 60 times a game in this league with everybody to more of there's a lot of run-based first teams here. So I think there's absolutely guys talent-wise that can get there. Tony, I think to your point, I think there's a bunch of different guys that will get into that 3.5 to 4.5 sack range. I think you'll see some of that. And getting to 6, I won't be surprised if it's a Sean Martin type guy that really has a breakout season and gets there. But I'm going to play the percentages there. A lot of it based on schedule more so than personnel. And I'm going to say under.
By the way,
and I'm bummed beyond belief that you 2 took unders.
Speaking of defense, did you know that the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma State, Brian Nardo, his brother, Luke, GA here.
Mm-hmm, correct.
Met that young fella yesterday. Very nice young guy. Out of Ohio.
Big contingent of their family on hand for last year's game when West Virginia played Oklahoma State here.
Yeah, but it's brother. The brother is here now. Small world.
It is.
I was talking to Jordan Leslie about it, and he said, "You want to get into the weeds?" So he met Nardo, who's at Oak State, through Joe Burrow's dad.
The Cincinnati quarterback?
The Cincinnati quarterback, because he's from Ohio. And just like, and like years ago, the dad came through and realized like Mississippi Connect, it never stops.
Oh, yeah.
This thing never stops. So are you disappointed that we went under?
I'm extremely disappointed.
You thought you could skunk it.
I'm extremely disappointed that we had a sweep in 2 of the 3 categories.
Well, it's no reflection on
Hey, this is
unless it's just like early season, and you'll improve a lot from the first week to the second week.
Dude, this is intelligent man football. We're not just a bunch of Andy Gumps running around here.
We might be wrong, too.
By the way, Coach Nealon over at the scrimmage Saturday.
Was he?
Yeah. Because I called Undra. I said, Undra, where are you? I thought you're supposed to be here. Tony. I'm in the parking lot. Coach Nealon showed me his new car. Coach Nealon just got a new car, so he was showing Undra.
Oh.
Well, I said, you might want to come in and watch the game a little bit here, but they were out in the parking lot. I said, you coming back in? He goes, no, Tony, I'm leaving.
Undra's the best.
All right, so more. I've got more of these coming on Thursday's episode.
Have you already done them?
I've got a couple of them done.
Okay.
You having fun with them?
I love these.
And this is how you built your name. I mean, this is your
This is
brand built.
reputation.
I love these. I mean, I know we can't do them every show. I could do these every show.
No,
I think this is just fun. I think it's a different way to look and talk about the position groups and the offense, defense, and what you may expect or may see.
Yeah.
And also, Hop, to me, the fun of this part of the year, especially when you have a team like West Virginia where there's a bunch of different guys we can talk about and some optimism around the program, I think there's a lot of these different things you can go through. That's a fun. What's this season going to look like? How are they going to run it? They're going to be as good running the football. Will all three of those guys have better seasons than last year? How about the receivers? May get into some receiving questions next week. There's a bunch of guys that could catch balls. How about touchdown catches? Do they throw more? And then the unknown on the defense.
Well, Cole Taylor says he's going to catch 50.
You may hear from Cole Taylor question next week. Or later this week.
You know, football always creates new terms. Like basketball brought in score the ball like several years ago.
Score the ball.
The big one now. The big new one in football now is catch radius. I tell you what, Cole Taylor's got a fantastic catch radius.
Not to
throw that ball near him. It's just
not to jump ahead.
Oh.
But I got lost for a while in tight end numbers over the last 25, maybe even 30 seasons, boys.
Oh, my gosh. Did you go down a rabbit hole?
We got some stuff going on the tight end. Old Cole Taylor has a chance.
I saw the
leading receiver.
I saw the best catch.
In terms of catches,
I saw the best catch that didn't count of the season on Saturday.
Somebody on the sideline.
Pac-Man Fox? Jaden Bray?
C.J. Donaldson.
Oh.
Really?
Made a catch at the goal line.
Uh-oh. Throwing it to the running backs? Throwing it to the running backs?
The official came
Always an off-season. Number one in the off-season.
The official came running in.
They throw it to the running backs a little bit this year.
Official came running in, ruled him out of bounds. And you know how you don't know if you trust officials this time of year because they wear shorts. Like, you don't know if you can.
What does that mean?
Yeah, they just don't look the same. So I think it may be like early season. If he makes a call wearing shorts, they run out there.
Wait
a second, that's not an official.
That's an unfair.
That's not an official call. You're wearing
shorts.
shorts.
Nothing to do with it. Correlation, causation.
No, I was
causation.
just being fun, but he made a catch. He made a catch.
Was he out?
He was out.
Okay.
Yeah, he was out.
So the official got it right.
Garrett walked over. He conferred with the official. Are you sure? Yeah, out there. I guess, yeah.
I like that.
By God, they had a big one last year when that throw to Jaheim White.
Oh, my.
That mattered.
Yeah. The crew that worked the scrimmage on Saturday was an official Big 12 crew. Official Big 12 crew. And so I during the halftime, I went over and spoke with one of those gentlemen. I said, now, where are you coming in from? He said, just outside of Salt Lake.
Excuse me?
Bigger league.
Came all the way here for a scrimmage.
Bigger crews. New league.
Wow.
The four corners, they brought those guys in.
Where's he been working? He's a Pac-12 official
previously.
previously.
Probably Pac-12 gentleman. He didn't know there was a direct flight from Pittsburgh to Salt Lake. They just started about a month ago. I let him know on that one. He didn't. He goes, there is? I said, yeah, Delta. You can run
so
back.
he was in Saturday.
He was in Saturday. It was a regular crew, and they do it. And all kidding aside.
Left last Tuesday. Probably to get here.
No, you could get
Huh?
Doesn't take 2 days to get here.
No.
You can just kind of come in. But you lose sight of how hard those guys work, and all kidding aside, to get the thing right, man. Like, we just kind of sit up there all the time. What that guy?
It happens so
they
fast.
They work hard as heck to make sure that it's right. So you're going to have new officials in the league this year. Yeah, right. Think about it. You've got 4 new teams after bringing in 4 new teams last year, right? So the thing has grown by 8 teams in the course of 2 years.
Do they have a point of emphasis this year? Every year there's a point of emphasis?
I don't think. I talked to Tony Tarantini, our good friend who works in the ACC, who's here in Morgantown. He works a lot of WVU practices during the week. And this was not a rules change year.
Okay.
But the biggest change, the most significant thing, obviously, is that there's going to be a 2-minute warning. So that'll change the whole thing.
That may not be biggest. Biggest is helmet communication.
Well, sure, that
right?
is in
I mean,
there
that's
too.
a rule
huge.
change this year. Yeah, I think that's a big one, both offense and defense.
Sitting with the boys on Saturday night, I tried to get a pool started. You know, just like a couple Reese cups or something like that you can get at Gomart. I said we should have a prediction. What is the least or the most amount of time that comes off the clock during a game this season going into a 2-minute warning?
What do you mean?
Like you snap one off at like 2:02 and that thing gets down to like 1:54 before the 2. I think that's a number. You're a numbers guy.
So the lowest number the number closest to 0 that the 2-minute warning stops on.
Yeah, that's one of my crazy.
That's a nice one. I like that.
I've always been crazy about that. Like in the NFL, I always get giddy when
That's
it goes
a good weird one.
because I know it bums the officials out. If it gets to like 1:54, 1:55, they get all pumped out. They want that thing at 2.
That's a good one.
But what that does is obviously that resets everything, and then you go into all your different end of half, end of game scenarios. I'll tell you one thing about over and unders. Always bet the over when it comes to Comax Business Systems because they're going to give you over the service that you expect. And right now, business owners, kind of important if you have workers out there that they communicate properly, and Comax can provide phone services from 1 line to 1,000 lines with a new digital phone system. You can purchase, you can lease, you can rent, whatever way works for you, competitively priced. Visit Comax Business Systems at comaxwv.com and get the absolute most state-of-the-art phone systems. They're there, and they're waiting on you. Free quote and a whole lot more. Saves you money when you know where your people are. Like Hoppy always calls me. I don't take his call because we don't have a Comax phone system, so he doesn't know where I am, Brad. See what I do there?
I see.
So that's that. You guys ready for a little healing?
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a month.
Wow.
It's time, man.
We need healing.
It's time. Let's do that thing. Textual Healing is brought to us by episode800.com. Our new fall apparel line just went up onto the website last week, so check it out at episode800.com. Man, got a lot of I guess we're going to read some of them, a lot of really good positive comments about Rev Kev when he came in and paid a visit and talked about the barbecue.
Sure.
The trailer, there's some of the new gear right now. Got the new 3 Guys shirts. Nobody Cares, Work Harder. Volleyball's my favorite season, plus all the new Peter Millar stuff is available. Plus I think Rusty over at Mountaineer Roasting now with our game day grind.
I was just going to say that.
I think you can now buy that. Off. I think he's now selling that by the 50-pound burlap sack.
Well,
from Colombia.
That's not confirmed.
Guatemala.
Not confirmed.
It's good. I went iced again with it today.
Interesting.
Told you that last week. Going iced here lately.
More refreshing?
I went to hot in the morning, second cup here, Hop.
Okay.
Hot in the morning, went to iced here this afternoon.
Working for you?
Yeah.
Got a little buzz going there?
Pretty good.
I descaled my coffee machine for the first time yesterday.
How'd that go?
Went well.
Fine.
Yeah, it went really well.
How do you do that?
It's a lime-based powder you put in there, and then you let the thing run through a couple of times, and you got to rinse it clean, but it takes away any potential calcium deposits. You don't want any calcium in your coffee. It makes your game day grind
You knew that.
Makes your game day grind. By the way, shout out to we use using currently 3 WVU students that are doing internships for us for design. So shout out to Joshua, Chloe, and JC. JC's dad, by the way, longtime listener, P1 listener to 3 Guys. She's been doing fantastic work.
Rave reviews on all of them.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. So thank you, guys. We're just working with the WVU Business School and students, fashion design, things like that. Thanks. It's a win-win. Again,
are we going through all these?
My gosh.
I'm gonna time permitting. If I don't finish them, then I'm gonna get to them the Thursday episode. But here's one thing. As I said, we have not done textual healing since July the 11th. So some texts dated themselves out, were not used. Kind of think of it this way. Not everyone makes the varsity when you try out, and not all the texts make 3 Guys before the game. Sometimes you either you get caught, or you have to play JV. Texter, always a West Virginia connection. I'm in Wanakee, Wisconsin for 2 weeks. I was recommended by a coworker to eat at a place called Buck and Honey's. So I go in, loved the food. It was a great atmosphere, just as good. Waiter notices that I've come in a few times, so I ask him what he likes on the menu, and he recommends the firecracker shrimp tacos, which were phenomenal. We get to talking, and he's from Turkey. His server was from Turkey. He moved to the States because his sister went to the University of Wisconsin. I explained that I'm originally from West Virginia, and without missing a beat, he says, Dennis Kalichla.
Uh-huh.
As he leaves my table, he starts to sing Country Roads.
Of course he did.
Excellent.
Archie from McKinney, Texas, by way of Monroe County.
We got a lot in there. Texas, Wisconsin,
a lot of
Turkey.
content. Yes.
I maintain Monroe County, West Virginia, may be the most beautiful county in the state.
It's where you successfully hunted.
Yeah. You were down there near Monroe County this weekend, weren't you?
I was, yeah.
Down near that area. Texter, I heard your Sportsline episode with Oliver Straw. It was great. He's a natural at football and talk shows. I went to Australia in 2010 where I got to eat kangaroo meat. I thought it tasted like an old hamburger. The crocodile soup, though, oh, that was delicious, but not the kangaroo. Best food I've ever had the pleasure of eating was prime rib that was made on the Barbie by a native Australian. There you go. Australians, good people.
Well, now.
Women won the bronze medal in the basketball competition at the Olympics.
How about the women's basketball team?
Beat them. Yeah, that was a great game. That was a great game, dude. How about the poor French? I mean, 2 days.
Double gut punch.
2 days in a row, they got absolutely, they got Miami punt block 96th.
Those last two men's games, just outstanding. What a great August bonus. The Serbia game and then the French game to win the gold medal. And then that women's game yesterday, another good example for those that want to foul up 3. Almost cost you. U.S. did not. France, luckily, half a foot on the 3-point line. Last shot that went in would have tied it had it been a 3. It was not counted as a 2. Maybe should have fouled bringing that ball in.
Good call by Noah Eagle, who instantly know that was a 2 and not a 3.
Yeah,
he was right on top of it. Hi, guys. I liked your point about the state providing support for athletics. Could there be a series of West Virginia University sports lottery tickets with the proceeds going to the athletic department?
Been discussed for years.
I think anything is possible this time.
Got some licensing issues there. But the lottery is a major sponsor of WVU, so they're already giving money to the university, pretty significant dollars.
Tony et
Thanks to the
al.
lottery.
Tony et al. Long text ahead. I hope it makes it in. McDonough-esque parenthetics intended. So he wrote this like Sean McDonough would say it.
Okay.
Your recent mentions of your bread baking brought back some memories. I, too, like to bake bread, although the carb count has limited me severely. I'm a fan of the book beard on bread. Our family baked a lot of bread. Mom did straight yeast baking. Aunt Alice would make salt risen, admittedly not my favorite. But it was my dad, the Reverend Sterling Morgan. No worship team, just straight preaching. That means that's a great sentence.
What does that mean?
Well, that means like nowadays you go to church and they got like 72 people in a band. He's saying like when his dad preaches, like ain't playing no music, like here's the book, we're going. That's what he's saying. A little bit of an Old Testament thing. So he wanted that like done by McDonough. But it was my dad, the Reverend Sterling Morgan. No worship teams, just straight preaching. That was the renowned bread baker. He was famous for his sourdough. Had a long-standing starter. He'd make as many as 20 loaves in an afternoon. That's a ton of bread, man. It was part of his ministry. I mean, who would turn away a home visit from the minister if he was bringing you a fresh baked loaf of bread?
Oh, good call. Yeah.
My dad was a huge Mountaineer fan, had a 9-year-old me listening to games when Bernie Galiffa was under center. He was proud of the fact that he once saw Jerry West play on the freshman team in Beckley. Dad said he was, quote, smooth. Dad passed in 2014. I'm sure you have more than one listener in Raleigh, Summers, and Greenbrier counties that were fortunate to have a loaf of Dad's bread. Sound by our buddy Tim Morgan, who also texts under another name. I'll tell you what now, 20 loaves of bread in an afternoon is crazy.
Yeah.
Let me show you what I did yesterday.
Okay.
Hey, Austin, can you bring? That was me yesterday. I did 6.
Those are nice.
I got 6 done.
Those look good, Tony.
So let me tell you what I did with 2 of those loaves. I brought him over to football, to Jordan Leslie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It was my way of trying to fix that hellacious problem we had with that unbelievable chicken chili that he and his wife made for us that was left on my desk and got spoiled.
Very good.
Oh, jeez.
So I brought it over there, and I gave him 2 loaves. I said, 1 for here in the office now, 1 bring home, please. Let your wife enjoy that.
Yeah, because they were kind enough to do a second run.
Exactly.
And bring in a second run for us.
So I doubled it up. I said, 2 loaves, go ahead.
Good job.
He seemed to like it.
Well done.
Good work.
Yeah, seemed to like it. Frank writes in from Clarksburg. According to some rumors, the Big 12 is going to start playing non-Saturday games. Should West Virginia be tasked with playing a game not on a Saturday, then Ren Baker should request to the league that the game be played on the week of Bridge Day. That way, you play on a non-Saturday, and Mountaineer fans wouldn't have to worry about the bridge being closed there. You have no idea, and you'll see here in a little bit, how many Bridge Day people wanted to let us know when we talked about Bridge Day that it's always the 3rd Saturday of October. We didn't know that, but they let us know. In no uncertain terms.
Okay.
Texter says, I love the Ren Baker interview. I can't believe you guys missed the opportunity to ask that guy what kind of fitness plan he's on because, man, he looks like a different human being.
Lost a lot of weight.
And how is he going to go on and on about the bear that he posted a picture of on social media and then have his social media set to private so none of us could get to see the bear picture he's referring to? Ha ha. I get it. It's hard to be a celebrity in the spotlight. Speaking of looking like a different human being, that doesn't even look like Tony in the picture that goes with that podcast. If you told me it was his brother or his cousin, I'd believe it. I took a triple take, then zoomed in to confirm that it was indeed Tony, and I'm still not convinced. Thanks for rolling, fellas. So several people have brought this up. That was Curtis in Portland.
You do have an AI look to you there. They're right. They're right. You have a good reason, but they're right.
Could you put that picture up again? All right. So
I have a good reason.
It is AI.
Right? Very AI-esque.
Very AI-esque.
So I talked about this on Sportsline, and I guess I never brought it up here on Three Guys.
So does Ren, by the way.
So, yes, there's somebody on text line said it looked like Tony had cosmetic surgery done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't cosmetic. I had surgery on my eyes because I've been holding back for 2 years. Now, my doctor, Rich Gellner over there at that big white tower down Pineview, he told me a couple years ago, he said the skin on your eyelids is coming down and it's going to impact the amount of light that's going to go in so you could see.
So you were about to have a situation.
And I thought, I kind of use my eyes a little bit for work.
You do?
And so I held off 2 years because there's a period of time, about 4 or 5 weeks before it resolves itself. So that was one of the pictures that I had when my eyes were still jacked up.
That was fairly early in the return.
That was about a week and a half after.
Yeah. But you're fine now.
Yeah, so thank you very much. No, I did not get a Kardashian facial, but I got those lids. That guy does a nice job. I got to go there this week. He's going to give me my clearance, but they cut those things right up there.
Wow.
I could tell you, I could send you some pictures of after it got done. Scare the hell out of you.
Brad didn't want to see those.
Well, because he brought those out unsolicited or we didn't ask. He just pulled it out. They're surgery pictures. I at least need a warning so I can opt out. I got no opt-out option.
Charlie from Midlothian.
Plus, I saw him really early in the process. He did the same thing live, just took his sunglasses off without giving me a heads up what was coming.
That bruising's real.
That was some surgery. A little cut in there.
Serious matter.
Charlie from Midlothian. This is what I told the doctor the morning that he came in. They come in to see you there right before they bring you in the room.
Mm-hmm. I
said, here's the deal, dude. I said, you cannot make me look for the rest of my life like Kenny Rogers that I'm surprised. Like, I didn't want to look like this. He goes, no, that's not what this is. We're just cutting the thing and pulling it. We're not giving you it wasn't cosmetic. A lot of people out there got some bad plastic surgery. Now, this wasn't plastic surgery. This was a corrective process, but
now
there's some
you
people
did not have plastic surgery.
Like Bobby Bowden would say, now, he did not have plastic surgery, but he just...
The boy wanted to see better.
He had to get the light back in his head.
Oh, we miss him.
Tony, thank you for having your picture made with us on Thursday at the BMAC Golf Outing in Moundsville. Even more thanks for sitting at our table, giving us some insight. You helped make the day incredible, memorable, and enjoyable. My father, those guys there, see what I did there? Had my picture made, but that was after the surgery, so I kept my sunglasses on.
Sure.
So that is just a great guy. That's Matt in Tulsa.
That's a star-studded photo right there.
Yeah. Right next to me is Matt in Tulsa.
Yeah.
He's in the political world, Hoppy. You should talk to him. He's in all kind of like real political stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Might be an operative. Next to him that's John S. Marshall, who hosts the BMAC golf tournament. They do a great job. They raise money every year for the MAC.
Wonderful supporter.
And Braden Adkins is the Mountaineer. And Matt from Tulsa's dad's in that picture, too. And people have no idea how many events the Mountaineer does in a year.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 250, 260 things he goes to.
That's correct.
What a pain in the patoot that is. Right?
And how many requests, Brad, do you get? Like, can the Mountaineer come here? Can the Mountaineer go there? Can the Mountaineer
Everyone
go
thinks he goes to 13.
4X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they go to 13 football games in the basketball game.
That's the most visible part of what they do. It's a very minor, small part of that job.
Well, I talked to him. He was still trying to get a feel for the business that he's in now because this is his first year. And he kind of figured out he's not driving in his car anymore wearing the suit. He gets there to the event and puts it on now because, you're driving down the road, someone looks over at you, you got the buckskin on. Get some eyes.
That is kind of funny, though.
It is.
You're driving down the interstate, you look over, there's a Mountaineer in full gear.
You ever have that happen with a clown? You drive down the road, you come to a stop at a light,
I think I have seen a clown driving.
Chances are it's kind of happened to everyone once. You look over.
Don't like it.
Got a big clown, got his hands on the steering wheel, got 72 puppy balloons in the back of the car. It was singing a little wiener dog.
Out. Don't need to see the clowns driving or otherwise. All due respect to the clowns.
Hey, man, the light turned green. Big clown.
Like
with
four of
orange
them get
wig.
out the stoplight, run around, change drivers.
Long-time listener, as in every episode, but this is the very first time that I'm texting.
Mm-hmm.
My wife, myself, and my 2 daughters recently visited Disney in Orlando. Second day there, I wear a WVU football shirt, and of course, I meet 5 people before lunch with West Virginia ties, including 3 grads.
Of course.
A Disney employee from Logan County,
Right.
and a security guard whose mom was a graduate.
Of course. It's a good haul right there.
Yeah.
There they are, right there, their family.
Yeah, that's...
The next day, I wear a T-shirt with the Mountaineer logo on it, which I sent a picture of. So there's that. So he wore that shirt with the Mountaineer on it.
Yeah.
And I was asked by a security guard if the logo that I was wearing on my shirt was Gaston of Beauty and the Beast. I had never heard that one. However, after doing some Googling, I did find this picture.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is.
An old picture of Gaston that has some similarities.
Yes, it does.
Finally, at dinner that night, we're dining at an Irish restaurant called Raglan Road, and a live band was playing. The second song we heard was, of course, Country Roads,
Yes.
West Virginia connection, even less. By the way, he says, my wife, Audra, and I were cheerleaders at the university in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
My brother Scott was the Mountaineer around 2000. My brother-in-law Brandon Flower was the Mountaineer in the late 90s as a dedicated listener as well. Once again, as my hat from episode800.com states, there is always a West Virginia connection. Go Mountaineers. That's by Chris Moore from Fairmont.
It's a great Mountaineer family right there.
Sure.
There's
Oh
a lot going on. I
gosh,
love
yeah.
Audra. All of them are great.
Audra, yes, she's terrific. Now, go back to that first picture of the whole family. I did notice this, Audra, that your 2 daughters are passing the height. The one's already passed her, and the other one's like, she probably already beat her too.
That's a good point.
So, yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much. Gaston. I had not put Gaston and the Mountaineer together.
That's a first, but it works. It fits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that Garrett Green looks like the Mountaineer.
There's a side shot of when the statues turn on the side profile, and you get a Garrett side profile, and they got something to that.
Because he has that angular face.
Yeah.
Right?
Real quick, won't go into this long, but I haven't told you guys this. I had occasion to be traveling this summer.
Yes.
Was in parts unknown, but not in the United States.
Okay.
Getting off an excursion, right? We'd been touring the native area where we were. We were getting off, and as we were on a boat, came in. As we were getting off, They were playing music the whole way back. Really fun. As we were arriving back in, played 2 songs. Last 2 songs of the trip.
Okay.
Sweet Caroline came up first. Yeah, we did.
Yes. Did you do it?
We did.
Good for you.
And had to.
Including the kids?
Yeah, had the kid. Gave him a pass.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know if that's great parenting, but gave him a pass.
That's
did
fine.
it.
That's
they were giddy.
fine.
The one quick note, I did feel a little bit bad for a buddy there with Boston Red Sox hat on, because they do that. They're like Pitt. That's one of their things. He was really excited when that song came on. I think, hello, Boston Red Sox. Buddy, he got overwhelmed quick.
Yeah, figured
Wasn't
that
a Boston Red Sox song. And then, hand to God, that played, and the very next song as we were getting off, Country Roads.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't escape it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like
It's everywhere.
It's like lint. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So we took over the
place.
boat on that one, too.
Thank you. Ted from Colorado writing in. There's always a West
Literally
Virginia
always,
connection.
right? See, always.
Always.
Ted from Colorado says, I'm fly fishing in Fort Smith, Montana. I'm at the car taking off my waders. A guy from Bluefield walks over and introduces himself. I'm eating dinner in the dining room at the lodge, and the father and the son at the next table are from Fairmont. Well, there's our boy Ted. Look, we finally have a face ID on Ted from Colorado.
Look at that fish.
Look at that fish.
It's a nice total picture there.
It is.
Well done, Ted.
Great time of the year. I want to give a shout out to a gentleman by the name who's a listener, Austin Smith in Buchanan. He has been sending me these graphics and stat graphics. Look at that. Just by the way, that's a spider graphic of the reception total for last year's Mountaineer team. So you see Cole Taylor way up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Devin Carter had more catches than I thought. And then you see Pac-Man Fox, but that's kind of a spider graph of catches. Thought it was kind of neat. So thank you, Austin, for sending me these graphics. Go rip through a couple of those. So there's passing and rushing. K-State last year, if you take a look at that really super close, like they are pretty doggone close, almost 50-50 pass to run. But anyway, he did a bunch of good stuff. So we might use some of these as time goes on. And Garrett Green adjusted quarterback against power forward. Just a lot of interesting stuff. People do that kind of stuff. Send us things. We like graphics. We actually enjoy food sent to us even more.
I was going to say, more than
If you have
graphics.
anything that's non-perishable, send it our way. Texter says, I was listening to your episode with Coach Sabins, who reminded me back to the night of the draft. We, of course, donned our West Virginia gear and gave out a very nice loud Let's Go Mountaineers chant as J.J. Weatherholt made his way to the stage. This obviously led to some stares from those nearby. We didn't care. That's our guy. It was an honor to be there for the night. There he is. Look at that. JJ that night inside that thing in Fort Worth getting interviewed by Yahoo Sports. That was signed by Cody, Fort Worth, via Ravenswood. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Texter, I just returned from a trip with my family to Iceland this summer. Hoping to find other Mountaineer fans, I had planned to wear my West Virginia hat the entire trip. Sure enough, literally 10 minutes into walking through the streets of Reykjavik after we arrived, I heard someone yell, "Let's go, Mountaineers," from across the street. This is in Iceland, Hoppy.
Yeah.
Following day, we visited a national park located in a rift valley between the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates. Within 5 minutes of arriving at the park, one person yells, "Let's go, Mountaineers," and another person came up and told me they were from West Virginia and added, "We're a long way from Appalachia." All totaled, 5 days in Iceland, I interacted with 4 West Virginia fans. There really is a West Virginia connection, wherever you may be. Dan in Damascus, Maryland.
Truly. Like, that's not just something we say as a throwaway line.
That's true.
That really is true.
Did you have Reykjavik on your bingo card today?
Did
Did
not.
Rare that Reykjavik comes up on 3 guys.
Hey, 3 guys or 2 guys, who knows anymore? I got a story for y'all. Flashback to around 2014. I'm in California on vacation. My mom and dad are there. We go out to dinner, but the table they put us at had no TVs in sight. So obviously I wanted to watch football because it was a Saturday night. Being about 8 years old at the time, I went up, sat at the bar.
Of course he did.
So I could watch football. I love this 8-year-old at the bar. Bartender told me that I obviously was not allowed to sit at the bar at that age. However, after trying to convince her to let me stay and watch football, I learned that
Hold
she's...
Real quick before you get to the punchline here. Good job by the 8-year-old to not just say okay and walk away.
a defiant
Yeah,
8-year-old.
I like that.
Bet you he's a lawyer now. Anyway, However, after trying to convince her to let me stay and watch football, I learned that she's from Charleston, West Virginia, where I'm from.
Why wouldn't she be?
After talking more, I also learned that her dad regularly hung out at the Tudor's Biscuit facility up at Yeager Airport.
Mm-hmm.
So we go back to Yeager. We make a visit. I had no idea. He had no idea who we were, but I told him, hey, we just met your daughter in California. Even though I was just 8 years old, she let me sit at the bar because there's always a West Virginia connection.
Always. Always.
So there's an 8-year-old at a bar.
Should have just ordered a Shirley Temple.
I used to pound those.
Ordering a Shirley Temple.
Those are popular.
Ginger ale,
my
cherry
daughters
juice.
too. They like those.
Yeah.
Those are good.
A
Hey,
little
by the way,
cherry right in there.
Yeah.
whether you're at the Tudors in Charleston, a reminder, Tudors Biscuit World is expanding. Right now, they are searching for passionate entrepreneurs in West Virginia to join the Tudors Biscuit family. That'd be kind of fun. Talk about eating the profits. I'd go in there and crush.
I could not.
Sorry, we're
own
sold
one.
out today. Mr. Caridi was here.
Could not own one.
With over 40 years of success, 74 locations, fast casual restaurant chain specializes in made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits and homemade breakfast items. Thousands of daily customers from across the 4 states. Why not? Own yourself a Tudors Biscuit World. Good.
So those are available now?
Yeah, you can get a franchise. I might do this. I might do it if this radio thing doesn't pan out.
We sell a couple more things of coffee, man. We can go get us one.
Had a little situation here.
What?
I didn't want to bring it up, but we will. A texter sent this in. This was in Barbersville at a Menards. They're kind of like Lowe's. They put their football schedule out there for 2024.
Yeah.
All the times were in Central Time. It's in Barbersville, West Virginia.
Excuse me?
What?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm not condemning Menards. They're based out of the Midwest. They might want to figure out there's an East Coast too. Just saying.
Thought we were done with that.
Yeah. Texter says 3 guys greatly enjoyed the Olympics.
Virus.
Yeah. Hard to process how much dedication, sacrifice it takes to get to the Olympics. Then most of the time you have to go to a foreign land, unfamiliar with what you're faced with, beds, food, physical, mentality, challenging. Yeah, it was. I thought the Olympics was
Fantastic.
just unbelievable.
Love the Olympics.
Yeah.
I get bummed every year when it's over. I do think that as remarkable as achievements are that we see every game with the Mountaineers, those Olympians, all that stuff the texter mentioned, plus just think of that, Hop. Your game day is 4 years apart. Mm-hmm. You need to not only have all of that stuff dialed in, but hope you don't stub your toe going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. You don't wake up with a cold. You're not a little bit stuffed. The number of things that can go wrong are almost incalculable for an Olympic athlete. It's really remarkable
And
what they do.
It was just a great setting to have it in and around Paris. You know, to have like the women's beach volleyball and the Eiffel Towers in the background and the opening ceremony on the Seine, and it was wonderful. It was really culturally just amazing.
NBC's set with your guy Mike Tirico, friend of the show, with that backdrop of the lit up Eiffel Tower behind him every night was tremendous. I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, real quick, and we'll move on. I know we got a lot of texts. They did a thing yesterday with Tirico where he had Al Michaels and Bob Costas on the set, and they were all three talking about just the macro, as you would say, of just different Olympiads. That was really neat and special with those 3 guys.
And NBC they figured it out because they got burned on Tokyo. Was go ahead and show the events during the day. Show them when they're happening, and then repackage it and show it at night, and that worked. Yeah. It was really
ratings way up.
Yeah, that whole thing about we're not going to show you because we're not going to. Yeah. That was a mistake, and they fixed it.
Yeah, that was pretty iconic to have Michaels and Costas and Tirico. Mm-hmm. And you remember growing up when ABC had the Olympics, Jim McKay was that dude. But I want to show you something. Of course, you said Tirico, friend of the program, right, buddy of ours. So years ago, Hoppy Kercheval had a student at Morgantown High who would come in and help him arrange guests and produce his show for Talkline. And the kid was a phenom, and you could tell this kid was going to be just like off the chart, like super successful. And his name back then was Stacy Zepp, a great baseball player at Morgantown High and whole deal. And played back when Danny Lohman played.
Sure.
Danny's a Hall of Famer over there at the high school.
Yep.
So Stacy goes to Kentucky, and then it goes to the Baruch Business School at NYU. and then becomes a lawyer. He's up in Boston, does all this thing, law school, maybe like at Northeastern. Anyway, head of his class. Basically, he runs YouTube now. Like if they hadn't already created the name YouTube before he got there, like UZEP would probably be what the name of it
or
would
ZepTube.
be. ZepTube?
ZepTube would be better.
So he sent me a picture last week from the Olympics and said, hey, a buddy of yours wanted to say hello. So if you could put that picture there. So he sends me this picture, right, with Tirico. So, because Steve works for you. Now, then he sent me 2 other pictures. Look at this. Give me those other 2 that I sent. Guy named Steph Curry.
Heard of him?
Yeah, ran into
Had a good
into
last
Steph
couple
Curry.
of days.
Stacy and Steph. And then a guy named Tom Brady.
He was there, yeah.
Was also there, too.
Yeah.
So Zep pulled off the hat trick of
Boy, he
Tirico,
did.
Curry, and Tom Brady.
Pretty good.
Were they at some high-end event or something?
Had to be like NBC, probably. My guess is
Special meet and greet there, yeah.
NBC must have had a big thing because Brady's there because he's going to do football this year. And Steph's got a thing on Peacock coming out.
Right, he's got a show.
Yeah, Brady was all over. He went to. They had him at a bunch of events.
And Stacy, or Jonathan Zepp now, Jonathan Zepp, he is the guy that brings in content for YouTube, manages content for YouTube. So apparently it was a big deal, but he sent me those.
Now he worked for Kercheval. Now did you not pay him either?
Gave him a beanery card.
He was.
Hey, listen, I'd love to give you a Boston beanery card, but you're still in high school.
I could tell early on, like he's
smarter than me.
He's going to grow beyond us pretty quickly. Same with Tirico when he would send reports from WAER
in Syracuse.
What, that'd be game reports when you were doing halftime updates?
I've told you that story.
Right. Yeah, but we always like you
during games.
Yeah, so during games, I'm doing halftime for the Mountaineer Sports Network, and Tony says, "Well, call the student station up there, WAER. They'll get a student to do the report for you." On the Syracuse game back when they're in the Big East. So it's getting ready for halftime, and I call up. I get a report on the Syracuse game. This guy comes on like, and Syracuse leads Rutgers, and it does this report. I remember like it was yesterday, listening to that, thinking, this guy's really good. A student, and he signs off, this is Mike Tirico over the Mountaineer Sports Network. I thought, who's Mike Tirico?
He always asks about you. He always asks, how's Hoppy?
I tell you what, but he is a friend of the program, but watching that, I mean, he is elite.
Really good.
He's elite.
Pretty smooth.
Oh my goodness.
He is ice after the Zamboni clears it.
Yeah, man.
He's just like white, smooth ice, like perfect.
Yes.
Clean. He's just smooth, clean. Doesn't miss.
Doesn't miss.
Doesn't miss.
And and doesn't get is entertaining and informed. Doesn't get outside the lines. Which when you're doing that much, there's a chance that
What's happening?
What's happening?
Why is Siri talking
I got
to you?
some sort of Siri's talking to me. I didn't get it. But just, there's not any, I don't think, Tony, there's anybody better right now.
He's glass, man. He's smooth as glass.
Really is.
Tell you what, so I got this text line, all these Syracuse announcers, grads that we all work with. I mean, most of them have worked here, right? We got Pash, and we got all these guys on there. And so we were texting last, like, McDonough will always come in. Like when there was, like the opening ceremonies just got over, and Sean texted in, on behalf of everyone, I'd just like to say, Mike, you did a fantastic job. You absolutely smooth it. And like, so Tirico, like a bunch of guys jump in there, like Iron Eagle and Pash is on there, and all these guys jump in, hey, great job. And like, after about 30 minutes, like Tirico says, guys, thank you very much. It was great. I'm looking at my phone. It's like, it's 10 o'clock at night here. It's 4 o'clock in the morning there. I'm like, dude, go to bed. And then yesterday when basketball got over, like Sean started it again. It's good. I should go back to Reedy's. The men win the basketball gold medal Saturday. And McDonough comes in. Noah, fantastic job. Gold medal performance.
For Noah Eagle, of course.
For Noah Eagle.
Yeah.
And his dad's on there. So it's good.
But again, to belabor the point, but to do what Tirico does, and then also, Brad, to cut in when they're showing like B-roll of other events.
He just jumps in
and just jumps in and does a little play-by-play of these sometimes obscure sports with all the names and gets it right. That is so hard. And he's
fun to watch.
Yeah.
Texter says, I just returned from a classic summer beach vacay in Myrtle Beach. While there, my sons were impressed to see the amount of West Virginia cars, vehicles, and the flying WV. I'm hoping the collective marketing genius of 3 guys can come up with something. We need a better phrase to a call and repeat, if you will, for Mountaineer fans to have with one another. For example, yelling, "Let's go," could get a sideways look, a head turn in another direction to see where no one needs to go, or potentially a confrontation. Other schools have phrases like "Roll Tide," "War Eagle," or even a hand gesture that can or can't get a penalty. I had a professor who wanted simple gifts to be yelled out, which to me is just not tough enough. Do you guys have any thoughts? How did Brad not get something off the ground? Alan in Morgantown.
I think let's
You
go.
don't need one.
I think let's go.
I mean, yeah,
That's
Alan,
it?
sorry.
Yeah.
Let's go Mountaineers is the one.
Don't reinvent
It doesn't
the wheel.
miss.
Yeah.
If you're a Mountaineer guy and you're out and you get
You
a
know
let's
what
go,
it
you're
is.
going to get Mountaineer.
Yeah.
Don't reinvent the wheel here, Alan.
Thanks
Go
for
with
the,
it.
Texter says, thanks
Don't
for
mean
this.
to berate you, but but I think this already works.
Well, he attacked me, so
oh, okay.
he said, how did I not
Thanks.
get something off the ground?
Thanks for the summer series. It helped me get through some hot evening walks. Good to see Scopes in Charleston. I gave him some taffy that I bought in San Diego. I told him to make sure that the other two at least get one piece.
Excuse me. I don't think we did.
Brad,
Well, I did.
thank you.
Oh,
Not many. Only 4. He ate the whole darn thing except for 4 pieces.
really?
Now, I will say I was not told Hoppy was supposed to get some. I did not know
he
that.
doesn't
You
need
said I saved some. I was told to give some to you. So
by the way, I'm
sorry. I did not know you were
That's-
supposed to get
that's fine.
some.
No worries.
Nor I might not have cared that you were supposed to. I took 4 down in a
I
hurry.
was probably on vacation.
You were.
It was really good.
And
Good taffy.
I would say this: I did not eat it all myself because I was cleaning out my truck.
99% of it.
I was cleaning up my truck, and then the inside door little plastic thing where you can put stuff. I noticed there were 9 wrappers from that taffy.
What are you saying?
I went inside. I said, "Hey, Joan, you ate 9 pieces of that." She said it was a long trip.
It was good.
It was really good. Anyway, he was there in San Diego for a conference, and we had a party at Balboa Park. An original Three Guys shirt made an appearance. It caught a few glances. Maybe it'll be the key word for next year's conference. There's old Jennings.
Good work, Jennings.
Working the efforting shirt.
Good work.
All right. Last one. We'll pick the rest of these up when we come back later this week. I wanted to share my first ever West Virginia connection story since moving to Houston. Me and the wife experienced our first hurricane, Beryl, in July. We had some minor water damage and finally got a guy out here to do some moisture readings and checking for leaks. We got to talking about me being new down here, and he asked me where I'm from. I said, of course, West Virginia. Guess what he says next?
Mm-hmm.
His grandparents live in Morgantown.
Why wouldn't they?
Of course they
Out
do.
of all the people in the side of the country, that's where his family is from. Give me a break.
Yep.
Boom. Sauce.
Never fails.
You know, our population is about 1.77 million, but I think that globally there's about 1 billion
Yeah.
West Virginia.
6.9 trillion.
Yeah, I mean,
Unbelievable.
it is.
Why is it?
I don't know,
Anyone
but you
have
never
a-
get that like, hey, are you from Illinois too? You never. I mean, you don't get that.
People don't say that.
No.
I'm in West Virginia, but a quick moving, fast rising second place is Iowa. I
Really?
mean,
Iowa
oh my-
does that?
No, I mean him with these Iowa connections.
Oh, he has a
recently.
lot of yeah.
He brought DeVries in here and it like opened up Pandora's box of all this Iowa stuff.
Sure.
They're all over the place now.
Company that did the lighting at the stadium.
Iowa,
Musco Lighting, of course.
yeah. It's just on and on it goes. All right,
It's
music's
like our
on.
sister state.
Yeah, but it's nowhere close to the West Virginia thing.
Because you
It's
don't
just-
even know. You live there, and you don't even know any of the counties.
Correct.
No, you
I
probably
know,
know
about,
3
I know about
counties.
3, and right now I know about maybe 1. Gotten
Which
arrested.
is what?
Polk, where I'm
Polk.
from.
I always see Polk County.
I do know Iowa State's in Story County.
That's it.
I forget the name of the county where I went to college. Have no, it's gone.
No county reference, right?
Three guys brought
Don't use
to us.
counties nearly in Iowa as much as you do here.
Three Guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years.
I don't get you.
Harrison.
Berkeley.
Roan,
McDowell.
Mango,
Don't do it. Just go. Read the stuff.
Wetzel, Ohio,
Wood.
Mercer, Berkeley. Three Guys brought to us by Lou Wendell.
Hancock.
Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. Preston. They sell family fun.
Just read.
Taylor, Tucker, Tyler. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com.
Marshall. Wirt.
Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way.
Cabell.
And by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond the numbers.
Mineral.
Ohio,
Randall.
the western end of Monongalia County.
Play the music.
Back again Thursday. See you.